Recording in progress. So, welcome to the 3-day session 2 of the 3-day mindfulness experience. So, just to get some housekeeping out of the way, we do have more challenges coming up for November, possibly December, but definitely top of November. I'm going to start talking about that soon. So, prepare yourselves for it. We are ending 2024 very, very, very strong. I'm super excited and grateful for you guys for being present and being here. There are still people who are joining on, but for first things first, let's go ahead and get our gratitude out of the way. So I need to hear from at least 5 of you. Go ahead and share your gratitude if you can unmute. Share what you're grateful for, and then we're going to go right into our session.
I'll start. I'm on my
Yay!
way
Thank you,
home.
Judith.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Honestly, I missed yesterday, and I'm grateful for this. I am grateful
Hmm.
that I'm here and present and will transfer over to my computer when I get home. But
Hmm.
this is right on time, Coach V, because
Nice.
I had that conversation today about mindfulness. So I'm giving thanks that God did move the universe on my behalf to make me present.
Yay! I love that. So glad you're here,
Yeah.
Judith. And it's all good. You're here for most of the things. You rarely miss. So thank you for being present on your way home from work. And that replay is going to be out as soon as we're complete with these 3 days. So no worries. Thank you for
Awesome.
being present.
Thank you too.
Awesome. You're welcome. All right. Who's next? What's your gratitude? Let me get it.
I'll go.
Hi, Renee.
Hello. Sorry, my camera is off,
No
but
problem.
I am extremely grateful today. Um, my daughter's motor blew out in her car, engine blew out in her car, and I said, I'm not going to buy a new car. And she was so discouraged. She was like, "Well, mommy, I'm going to drop out of law school, and because it's costing me $100 a day to take an Uber to go back and forth to school, and da da da." I said, "Well, it'll all work out." And she says, "You always say that. What's wrong with you? You always say it's going to work out." So today she texted me this morning. She says, "Well, I need a therapist." I said, "Well, yeah, you need a therapist and a car." So I said, "But watch out. God's going to move the universe today. You'll have a car." That was at 10 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, a lady called and I put the need out there. That was
Right.
new for me. I put the need out there. I reached out to a circle and said, "Hey, my daughter needs a car." Complete strangers, but they were parents of law school students. And
Nice.
people were dragging me. "Well, she needs to learn how to catch the bus. And this is a lesson." Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
one wonderful African American mother stepped up and said, "Don't answer another question. I have a second car. She can come get it today."
Wow.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
And she
Yeah.
can drive it until everything is sorted out. If that's until January, February, fine. And this wonderful lady, she happened to graduate from the law school also. And her name is Renee.
Mm. Oh, wow. Divine, divine,
Divine,
divine.
divine. Yeah.
Wow, I love that, Renee. Wait to flow forward and own it. I love that.
Hmm.
Beautiful. And I'm proud of you for practicing what we talked about last night and what we've been talking about. Like you deciding to allow space for more support in that way. That's amazing. Way to surrender.
That was big for me. Like
Yeah.
in that way, I've never just asked for help.
How you
But
feeling?
well, I said, well, if I'm going to put myself out there and ask God, you better show up. Don't embarrass us. And that was really my attitude. I was like, okay, God, my payment for this is gratitude.
Yeah.
I stand on
Beautiful.
man, and I look forward to what the miracle is going to be today. So it's happening.
Mhm. Look at the surprise and delight of that. Oof. So
Hmm.
good. Thank you so much. So rich. Yes, yes, yes. Sasha, hi, Sasha. Sasha, she said, quality time with my daughter. That's your gratitude? I believe so. And she says, hello, everyone. Hi. All right. Who's next? What's your gratitude? So good. Yes, we got you. Thank you so much.
I'm grateful that I went out of my way to feel good today.
Oh, look at you doing the work. Was it hard?
Actually, it wasn't. Um, a good song came on. I have it programmed to come on at a certain time every day. And I had
Okay.
forgot about it because I was feeling in the dumps. And when that song came on, I got up and started dancing and singing to the top of my lungs. And
Oh.
that was what did it for me. That was the trick. And it would seem like I was just in motion all day with that good feeling. Because I remember you said
Hmm.
that go out of your way to feel good. You know, we don't always be in a feel good mood, but go out of your way to feel good. So I went out of my way today.
I'm so proud of you, man. That's so good. So rich. Yeah, I went out of my way a couple of times today to feel good too. I had to like to cut that song on and get to it. I love that. Threw a little ass. It made all the difference. That's perfect. I love it. Beautiful. All right, Shanique, what's your gratitude?
Um, I was really grateful for our intimate session yesterday because believe it or
Mm,
not, yesterday I actually didn't feel well. Um,
mm,
and I had had a tough day yesterday. Today was shaping out to be another very interesting day. And so I'm grateful to have the opportunity to come and feel the joy and the love from everybody in these sessions. And then my daughter, she Deja lives in Boston, and she
mm-hmm.
was here 2 weeks ago. And I opened my desk at work, and she had a little note in there just saying, I love you, mommy, and I appreciate you. And so
Oh,
that also helped. And so um, I'm just appreciating all of the love, and
mm-hmm.
all of the ways that I can get it.
Yes, that's so beautiful. I love that so much. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for sharing that. Man, when the kids start to love us how we love them, it's a blessing. It's a big thank you. And it be on those days when you need it most. So I love that for you. That's beautiful. All right. Hi, Wanda. If you can put your gratitude in the comments for us. Let us know what your gratitude is. And then somebody else was here and they dropped off, so maybe they'll be back. So y'all again, welcome to the 3-day mindfulness masterclass. It's called a journey masterclass challenge, all the things. Just get up in here with this mindfulness. Last night we talked a lot. Session 1 was a lot around surrender. We're going to talk more about surrender, but tonight is about the mindful abundance. So we're going to get into mindful abundance. And then tomorrow night I'm going to be sharing more tips, tools, framework that's going to help you like propel into that next level of how mindfulness can not only create more joy and more stillness, but also just more of what you need most. And so if you got your pen and pad handy, I'm going to share my gratitude and then we'll pick some cards. Make sure you got your pen and pad, notebook, whatever you like to take notes on. um, let's get right into it. So my gratitude for today is gratitude in and of itself. I say often, and I've been saying for a while now, that gratitude is the language of those who live in abundance. And the reason why gratitude is the language of those who live in abundance is because when people are abundant, they're not just looking to money, even though money is a reflection of abundance. Don't get it twisted. It's just one of the smallest expressions of abundance. But they look to abundance they look to gratitude for more abundance. And today I had an opportunity. I was taking care of some big bills, some big business bills. We're at the end of the month, but we're also at the beginning of another month. And I was like, hmm, it's about that time. Okay. And I'm very rarely like sad or like pouting about paying bills, but two big things happened at the same time. And I don't like for accounts to go below a certain level. And so I was like, man, when it was all said and done and I was able to take care of those two big things, it brought me back to a place of gratitude because I was like, but wait a minute, they both got taken care of and I got some change left. Like all is well. Like all is not lost, all is well, and it's okay and it's all good. And I'm grateful. And I turned on two of my favorite songs that I haven't heard in a while. And it happened, and I don't listen to a whole bunch of gospel music. I do got my favorites, but it happens to be Every Mountain um, by Kurt Carr and then Total Praise. by Richard Smallwood, and both of those songs always take me to the heavens and back. Just remembering, like, I got so much to thank God for, and not God out here somewhere, but God in here. Like, I got so much to thank God for every mountain, for every valley, for everything that I've experienced. And gratitude today just like spearheaded me right into recognizing, like, man, God has already moved the universe on my behalf. Like, I got a lot to be grateful for. um and then yesterday a friend of mine shared a video, this really super crazy funny video, and it reminded he and I of our childhood. And we were talking about how, people say often you're only a paycheck away from being whatever lack term that they use. You're only a paycheck from being away from whatever. But the truth is, we were laughing and joking. Like, the truth is, we're only one snap away from being an old version of ourselves. But the gratitude is that, nah, like, it would take much more than that for me to surrender and to give up all the hard work that I've worked for to be anywhere that I used to be. And so, gratitude for that, gratitude for perspective, and being able to tap into abundance, and through gratitude, through being grateful, through being just mindful of all the things that have shown up for us in a space of blessings. So I'm grateful for that. Now we have 3 cards for tonight: card 54, card 29, and card 16. So I need somebody. Does anybody have their cards handy? I need somebody to help me out. Van, you said you got yours. Judith got hers. Okay, so Van, can you unmute and read card 54 front and back? And then Judith, can you, when Van's done, can you unmute and read 29 front and back? Somebody's trying to get in. So I'm gonna let them in, but I want to make sure we keep going. So we got card 54 for Van, and then card 29 for Judith.
All right, so card 54 says, I can't tell stories of being a victim and expect to overcome. And the back says, every time you tell a story that ends with you as the victim, you only attract more opportunities to experience that same story. In order for you to not only survive, but thrive through your experiences, it's important to tell the story from the perspective of the winner you are, because what you project, you attract.
Mm-hmm. And Van, what does that card mean to you? How does that card resonate with you?
This card resonates with me. It's just a reminder that I am not a victim, because that story doesn't align with the person that I said that I am. That the victim is not me. So I can't, because I've been accused of being a victim. But today, this card is a reminder that I'm not.
Anybody else recognize that card for yourselves? Like, does that card ring a bell at all? It's one of my favorites. And also Wanda Lee said, my gratitude moment for today is my son, age 25, decided to take me grocery shopping just because he loves me. Yes, come on, children. When the children come through. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Shanique, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say it actually reminds me of what we talked about yesterday about like the chaos of the mind and the things that you focus on.
Mm-hmm.
The more and more that you focus on negative things, then the more and more that's what you're going to attract. That's what you're going to get. And so it's definitely a reminder that, you know, try to stay focused on the things that truly matter and don't waste your time with silly things. So I don't have on-site moments, you know?
Very good, very good. Perfect. All right. So, Judith, you're up next. Thank you so much.
Okay, so card 29, my relationships are as amazing as I create them to be. You don't have to conduct relationships the way you were taught or observed, especially in those examples, if those examples fell short of what you want. Relationships are one of the most important parts of life because they're how we connect deeply with our human. Whether it's a friendship, a romantic relationship, or family, you get to decide the experience you want to have by being clear and intentional about it.
Mm-hmm. And for you, Judith, what does that card mean?
Everything. Everything. It's one of the muscles that I had to and still am massaging. And case in point, as I was running from the train to Colton this evening, my daughter called me, and she she uses my Costco card for her friend to pick up her contact lens because it's cheaper. So when she went this evening and they scanned the card, my picture came up.
Mm,
So the lady said we can't use it. They've been using it, but now I guess their whole system has changed. So
mm-hmm,
she said, so mom, can I get on your Costco card? So I said, sure.
mm-hmm.
Um, but Alec has only one set of contact lens left for tomorrow. So can we go to Costco tomorrow? So I said, well, it would be easier for you to meet me at the train station so we could go straight to Costco. She said, oh, but Alec and I have plans. Okay, bullseye. I was like, it's okay. I'm running to go get dad. I'll talk to you later. Because when she comes home, I will explain to her. I'm leaving work early to facilitate you. What does that make me look like? Where is the respect in that? And if I do that every time, what am I telling you?
Mm-hmm,
So no, I
mm-hmm.
can't do that. If you can wait until the weekend, I'll be happy to go pick it up for you. But she wants me to leave work early, go to Costco because the prescription is already there and they're gonna go out. They are gonna go out. Hell no. So guess what?
That's right.
Boundaries, my
Mm,
relationships are as easy as I create them to be.
mm-hmm,
If I trade that, I'm losing respect for myself, and her friend
mm-hmm,
lose respect for me too.
mm-hmm,
Well, as her. So yeah,
mm-hmm,
that's it. That's the boundary, and that's me creating that kind of relationship. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Very good. Very
So it's
good.
time. This is so timely.
Mm-hmm.
That's another
Yeah.
gratitude. Mhm.
Mm-hmm. I love how empowered you feel too. Judith's like, yeah, damn right.
Hell no.
Love that for you. I love it so much. That's incredible. And I love it because one, that was your card, and that's the one that you read, and it's right on time. But also I can feel the, the courage and the pride that you have for yourself for showing up and saying, no, you're not gonna inconvenience me, and y'all go out and have a good time while I'm doing you a favor. That's crazy. Like, I'm gonna leave work early and you're not gonna do it at my convenience. And so it's this beautiful um in between space that allows for you to see who you used to be based on what their expectations are
Mhm.
and who you are now based
Absolutely.
on the decision that you're making. And a lot of times that valley experience is get scary because did I do the right thing? Was I too harsh? This and that. No, no, no. Bullseye, right nail on the head. Because the next time Miss Thing will think twice. Like, oh, hey, is it all right with you, mom? If you can, I ooh ee I. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's how I like for you to talk to me. Yes, yes, yes. So I love that for you. Vanilla said that she meant that. Absolutely. Shanique said, okay, Judith, you did not come to play. Listen, last night Shanique was talking about being on site. Now it's Judith's turn. Judith said, right now, today. All right. Third,
Synchronicity.
I love it. Thank you for that. That's so good. Third card. This is for all of us. Ooh. Manifestation isn't magic, it's intentionality. Manifesting your life isn't hocus pocus, wishing on a star, or just speaking what you want. To manifest something is to intentionally materialize your desired outcome. Manifestation is about intentionality and holistically moving your mind, body, and soul in the direction of what you want to be, have, or experience. You deserve and are worthy of experiencing the desires of your heart. Be intentional. Yes, yes, yes. Be intentional. Everybody got it? And does that uh tap for anybody? Is that anybody's flow? Do you feel that? Do you understand it? Do you got it? How you feeling? What you got for me? Anybody want to unmute? How does that feel? I can't see y'all face.
Oh, um, I totally agree with that because it's amazing. You always say this work is not linear. It's not, we're ever evolving. And every time I go ahead and say, this is what I'm manifesting, each time the experience is different. And
Mm-hmm.
now in this space, there is a very strong intentionality that needs to be aligned with the very thought of manifestation. And I'm right when I say trench, I don't mean negative, but
Sure.
I'm deep in it in that moment with it now where this is my manifestation. This is not doubt. I'm actually experiencing it before it comes to fruition, as they say. So yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. Beautiful, beautiful.
I think, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, I think I'm in that flow also, especially since our session last night when we were talking about mindfulness being intentionality and being deliberate. And even today with the situation with Jalen, I didn't say magic wand manifest the car. It was like, okay, now everything that you do today is going to go towards this manifestation. If you go to the bathroom, something's going to happen in the bathroom. It's going towards this manifestation of a car today. So it's like you just can't think it or wish it or hope it. You really have to do something and know that it's all going to lead towards the manifestation.
Baby, come on. Come on. Yeah, the work is working. I love it. The work is working. Thank you for that, Renee. Anybody else? The work is working.
It's a reminder for me that this work is not about being lazy. You can't be lazy with it. So that intentionality, it's intentional. So you laying around thinking, oh, so just like today, I had to be reminded that you got to be intentional about feeling good and manifesting what you want to see in your life. You got to act as if you already have it. You just haven't received it yet, but you act as if you have received it, and it's not being lazy. So yeah, I have to just keep those notes by me, and I had those cards on it because I have to get into them. I have to get into them.
Yes, 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 yes. I love that. And here's the deal, right? Like recognizing full body, wholeheartedly that even if we remove the word lazy, right? And if we put in, I just got to be mindful. I just got to be mindful of me. I got to be mindful of what I desire. I got to be mindful of what I've asked for. I got to be mindful of how this works. Because I don't think, Van, that you're a lazy person. And I don't think you've ever been lazy. Even when I'm sorry, y'all, somebody's still trying to get in. Just 1 second. Even when you have even when you have days where you don't feel like it, even when you have days where you forget to step back into your gratitude, even when you have days where you fly off the handle or everything is negative, right? There are times when we're being lazy with our thinking or sloppy with our thinking. And now if I fine tune it, I would remove sloppy and lazy and I would replace it with not being mindful. Because one, I want to use words that are pleasure filled, even when I'm correcting myself. I want to use things that are not as harsh or not as, you know, that don't hurt so bad if I can. Sometimes you just got to go for it and cut yourself out. But you know when you need that. But when you think about mindfulness, this challenge, this journey, this masterclass is about just that. It's about being able to show up in this space of honoring that at the end of the day, right? Grace is still sufficient, but also let me be mindful of what I've asked for, what I want to achieve, what I want to experience, and my abundance. Does that make sense, y'all? And beyond being mindful, do me a favor, Shanique or Renee, and I would prefer to hear from both of you guys, but thank you for that, Sasha. I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me know you got it. Appreciate that. Either Shanique or Renee, or both, share your takeaway, your greatest takeaway from last night. I know both of you kind of mentioned it, but what was the one thing that made the difference for you last night? And then once you share, I'm going to get this other person in, and then I'm going to build on top of, because we got 5 things that I got to share with you tonight that I want us to start practicing right away when it comes to mindfulness. So Shanique, if you could kick us off, and then Renee, if you want to add to it,
Okay.
and then we'll be ready to rock.
Yep. So yesterday, I think one of my biggest takeaways was, as we talked about the chaos of the mind and how we have a tendency to replay negativity over and over. One of the things that you said to us was we need to be able to surrender, which is to acknowledge those thoughts that are in our mind, being able to acknowledge them without judgment, and then to yield to those things or manually release them. And so you can write a letter, you can write it down. But then I think the biggest part for me was asking yourself, what do you need so that you could be able to move on? And last night I had talked about a lot of times when I get into that space where I'm having all these negative thoughts, I know for a fact that it's my 7-year-old self that in the driver's seat at that moment, having to deal with childhood traumas and things like, rejection when you're being kind and you're being supportive. And I had realized that for me, that's now how I naturally show up in this space of wanting to be supportive, but also realizing that there's a little bit of a need for validation in those moments as a result of the rejection from when I was a kid. And so in the moments, like I actually had the experience today where I felt a type of way about something that somebody had said. And rather than engaging in on-site behavior, which we also talked about last night, instead I asked myself, like, okay, Shanique, in this moment, what do you need? Like, I understand that disrespect is the trigger for me that brings up my 7-year-old self. And so what do I need in this moment? And what I needed in the moment, like I was saying yesterday, I'm a clown. So in the moment, I was like, I could use a drink right now. I was like, seriously. Um, I, in this moment, I just need to know that the way that the other person is showing up has nothing to do with me and everything to do with them. And just because this person is not showing up in a way that is positive, it doesn't mean that I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It doesn't mean that I did anything wrong. And so I get to make the choice to just release, and I get to make the choice on how I want to respond in the moment. And if I choose to have the conversation, which was something else that we talked about, I can choose to have the conversation or I can choose not to. And in the moment, I chose not to because I didn't think it was important. And that's okay, because it's all about what I want, not what the other person wants. That was
Beautiful. I love how the work is applied immediately. Very good. Thank you so much. All right. And we got one more, and then we ready to rock now. So y'all, whenever you're ready, Renee, let's do it.
I think Shanique summed it up. I think she gave a great summary of everything besides, my little miss up. Yes, we're not gonna repeat it. But
It's all right.
I think my biggest takeaway was in situations where there's mental chaos, be it externally or internally, you get to decide, number one, if you want to respond, and then decide how to respond. And even as I navigate, I learned last night to find out what a situation is trying to teach me.
Mm-hmm.
Because someone could be offended, or I could offend, or even feel offended. But what is this situation trying to teach me? And then respond from that space to make sure that I get what I need out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very good, Renee.
I feel so mature.
Listen, y'all took last night and chewed it up and digested that thing and put it to work immediately. Judith said, I actually felt like I was here last night. I love that. Yes, 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 yes. All right. Judith said, I put all what Shanique said in practice today. That's beautiful. I love that so much. So if you were not here last night, the replay will be up after day 3, but we're going to keep flowing, and I want to make sure we use the rest of our time to get in the meat of it. So if you're just joining us, you're right on time, because we're going to get right into it. So last night was all about how to manage the chaos in the mind, right? Mindfulness, chaos, right? Chaos in your mindfulness. Tonight is about abundance. And so you guys have heard me talk about abundance before, but tonight I want us to review some things, but also go a little bit deeper in the sense of how do I tap into my abundance from a mindful place? So when I consider, what abundance is and how important it is to how we live and what we do, it starts with your mindset. So write that down first things first. My abundance starts with my mindset. Write that down. That's first things first. My abundance starts with my mindset. And the reason why that's important is because if I know off the top, if I remember, if I pull out in my toolkit that my abundance starts with my mindset, then I won't look externally first for the reflection of abundance. That's the most important part of you recognizing that my abundance starts with my mindset. So if I'm not externally experiencing abundance, that means I got to tap in, tune in, turn on here, because my abundance starts where? With my mindset. And I want us to get that because we've been talking about abundance for a decade now, and definitely for the last 5 years in a way that we have never talked about it before. It keeps getting better every single time. And the reason why it keeps getting better every single time is because we are learning more about how the human brain works. We are learning more about how the human body works. And we are learning more about how information is translated and then actually used to make happen what we want to make happen. So if I consider that my abundance starts with my mindset, and then I know off the top, that means I need to stay focused on what's happening here first, then I'm able to shift from that scarcity mindset immediately, because in here, everything exists. Anything that you've ever desired, you've seen it first here. Yes. So if I've seen everything I want here, out here, if I log into my bank account, out here, if I look at my relationships, out here, if I get on a scale, out here, if I measure my blood pressure, out here, all these things can be whatever they are, right? And it doesn't mean to ignore the reality of what you call reality, but recognize, like we talked about last night, that reality is information. Write it down. Reality is information, right? It's not the end all to be all. Whatever you see right now is not the end all to be all. Whatever you're experiencing right now is not the end all to be all. It can't be, because things are perpetually changing on the regular basis. It's changing all the time. And you have the ability to change it by you shifting your mindset from abundance being first external to abundance being first internal, because abundance is in my mindset. Abundance starts with my mindset first. That's number one. Type in the comments and let me know you got it. Judith says, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. If you got questions before I move forward, let me know. But I want to make sure you got it. It sounds very elementary, but say out in the comments if you've ever forgotten that abundance started with your mindset and you started paying too much attention to the shit that was happening outside of your mindset and all the stuff that made you feel like, I don't know, I can't believe why this is happening. Oh my goodness, forgetting that shit. Abundance starts with my mindset. Abundance starts with my mindset. Abundance starts with my mindset. That what I'm receiving outside of me is information. Now, I got the information. How do I want to see this? What adjustments do I need to make? Judith gave a beautiful example today. She got a call, was willing to, make it happen, but the other person was like, "Yeah, but I need it this way." And Judith was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! That doesn't. I'll tell you what. Let's pause here." And the pause, the ending of the phone call, gave Judith an opportunity to reinstate her own boundaries internally so that she can later communicate them externally. That same system is for abundance, it's for gratitude, it's for getting more money, it's for getting more love, it's more getting more health, it's for all of that. If I already decided in my mind that my way to health is working out in the gym twice a day for 40 days, I'm going to do that. And even when I get sick, even when I don't feel like it, even when I'm tired, even when I'm sad, even when this, even when that, even on the days that I say I'm not working out twice a day today, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do it anyway. Because I've already decided that my health is tied to that. But if I don't see it that way and it doesn't matter to me enough, not that you don't care about your health, but if it doesn't matter to you that much, right? Like, I'll figure it out another time, then it won't happen. It just won't happen. Right? The same thing for your money. The same thing. If you're like, well, these bills are more than I could ever get, and I ain't gonna never get from under these bills, and this and that, it's all about the bills, all about the bills, all about the bills. And you're looking to external, you're gonna get this loan, that loan. And not that loans are wrong or bad, because they're not, they're helpful. But if you recognize that in order for me to even satisfy these loans or this support or whatever it is I'm getting financially, I must be willing to see it internally. Renee gave a beautiful example of that today. Renee said, listen, everything that I do, from wiping my ass when I go to the bathroom, to eating my meals, to talking on the phone, to looking on social, is going to be about manifesting this thing. She wasn't holding tight to how it happened. She didn't know how that shit was going to happen. It could have happened any kind of way. But what she did know was that it was possible. What she did know was that she deserved it. What she did know is that she was worthy. What she did do was show up for it every single time. She went out of her way, but got out of her comfort zone, requested in a group of strangers, hey, my daughter needs a car. And allow God to move the universe on her behalf. When we talk about abundance and being mindful of it, there's never not enough. There's never not enough money. There's never not enough love. There's never not enough opportunities. There's never not enough health. There's never not enough wellness. There's always more than enough. And so the question is, are you willing to move out of the way in order for God to move the universe on your behalf? Shanique said, out for sure. I actually have a Post-it note in front of me right now from when we were in session back in 2022. I love that. And what I thought abundance was compared to what I know it to be now. Oh, Shanique. Yeah, that's so good. Come on. You want to share?
Sure. So like, right, I don't know if y'all will be able to see it, but this is from when we were in session back in 2022. And the post-it said, at that time, I was new to a lot of the things that you were teaching us. And so abundance to me at that time was um, financial. And so if you had a lot of money, you were abundant. And that's what I believe abundance to be in comparison. And so what the Post-it note says is you are about, I'm getting old. My vision is not good. But it says you are in abundance so much more than money can afford.
Come on.
And like now, when I think about abundance, it's like, yeah, like all of the love that I have from my family, all the wonderful experiences that I've had the opportunity to have, being able to travel the world, all of these new perspectives right? That's abundance as well. And money is like you've always taught us, is the smallest manifestation of abundance. And so my definition of abundance has definitely expanded in comparison to what it was so many years ago.
Maybe I'm using that as a testimonial for the next 10 years if I continue to do this work the same way. Baby, that was nail on the motherfucking head. Yes, that's it. That's it. And let me just say this, my dear. If you reread that post-it note was still on point. Because if you reread it out loud, and what does it say?
It says you are in abundance so much more than money can afford.
So much more than money can afford. That's your family. That's your trips around the world. That's all the things. Yeah. Yeah. I love that so much, so much, so much. That's so good, Shanique. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Y'all ready for me to keep going? Let me look at my time, make sure I'm all right. All right. So abundance starts in my mindset, right? The second thing is we already know that gratitude is the language of those who live in abundance. Write down, gratitude is my foundation. Gratitude is my foundation. So when we think about gratitude, I want you to consider it from a perspective of cultivating a practice of giving thanks for what currently is. When we think about being mindful, when I focus on what is here right now, no matter what's happening in this moment, if I'm breathing, I got everything that I need right now in this moment. I'm talking about don't matter what your bank account say, don't matter what the scale say, don't matter what this say, don't matter. If I can breathe and interpret this moment right now, I have everything that I need in this very second. I'm not talking about in an hour from now. I'm not talking about in a month from now. I'm not even talking about in tomorrow. I mean, for right now, are you in abundance? When you look at your life and you look at this day, what are you lacking that you need right now? Type it in the comments. Let me know what you're lacking that you need right now in this moment. What do you believe that you need right now in this moment? I see nothing from Judith. I see nothing from Renee. Wanda Lee says nothing. Wanda, I call you by your first and last name because I had an aunt who transitioned. Her name was Wanda K, and we call her by that whole name, Wanda K. It was a term of endearment for sure. Shanique said, my mindset has evolved so much that I don't believe I lack. Yes, come on. Diana said nothing. Yes. So when you consider that, right? When you consider what do I need in this moment, then you automatically want to give what? Type it in the comments. I can't read y'all lips. What y'all think I am, a lip reader? Hi. Gratitude, baby. Gratitude. Thanks. Yes, give thanks. Give gratitude. Why? Because there's nothing that I need in this moment. And me recognizing that from being mindful of what's happening, because the mind, if we let it drive and be driven by the ego, right? The mind is like, ego, come on, you drive. We got somewhere to go. We got some complaining to do. We got some shit to have it to wreak. We got some stuff to do and da. But if I'm willing to stay focused in this moment, right? And I'm allowing, right? Because I'm driving my mind. When my mind has thoughts, anything outside of my gratitude, I can pull it back and remind it. Because I'm like, yeah, you got everything you need right now. But what about tomorrow? You know, that thing is due later tonight. And what about it was due earlier today? And this and that and this. But in this moment, I don't need anything. In this moment, I got my full body. I am good. I am good to go in this moment within myself. For everything that matters in my life, I'm good. That is me stepping into the power of now. That has been the hook. That has been the tagline for this series, stepping into the power of now. And how powerful is this very moment if I'm willing to recognize that I lack nothing in this moment? I have everything that I need in this moment. I have nothing but gratitude for this moment. That gratitude then does what? What does that gratitude now propel? Type it in the comments. I know y'all know this. This ain't no math equation. Come on with it. More abundance. Yes, yes, yes. More abundance. Because gratitude is the language of those who live in abundance. Judith, you're not wrong. Belief and trust is also there. Absolutely. Sasha said everything. Yes, more. Yes, abundance, abundance, abundance. Because gratitude is the language of those who live in abundance. Yes, Diana. Diana said that gratitude compels more abundance. Absolutely. Heather said propels me forward for more abundance. Yes, it does. Absolutely. All right. So number one, we know abundance starts with the mindset. Number two, we know gratitude is the foundation. Number three, we must be willing to release scarcity thoughts like we breathe in and out for oxygen. What do I mean by that? We keep getting caught up in the fact that we think that all we got to do is say, I'm grateful one time. All I got to do is realign my mindset one time, and the rest of my day should be fine. If you're a person who has ever had tequila, Heather said, I had a hallelujah moment. Come on, Heather. If you're a person who's ever had tequila or any kind of alcohol, my rule of thumb, most people's rule of thumb when they care about, how they're going to feel the next day, for every ounce that you have, right, you get you 8 ounces of water, okay? For every 1 to 2 ounces of, for every 1 to 2 ounces of alcohol, you get you 8 ounces of water, okay? When you consider that same concept for gratitude, or number three, releasing the scarcity mindset, right? Releasing the scarcity thoughts. That's number three. When you consider that, how many times do I have to release scarcity thoughts a day? As many times as it come, times 2. Vanilla like, well, shit. What does that feel like, man? I know it feels like work because it's work for me too. I get it.
Yeah, it's a lot because you said just like you're breathing in and out every day. So you got to remember to release those scarcity thoughts. Oh yeah.
And the thing is, man, it's like this. It's like at the end of the day, if my job is to release the thoughts twice as often as I have them, that means really what I'm being asked to do is to release the thought and replace it, right? Because what's the point of releasing it if I don't replace it? So release the thought and then replace it with what? If my thought is, man, I'm tired of all these bills. Once I release that thought, I'm done with thinking that way. Somebody unmute and tell me, yes, Van, a better thought. Give me an example of what I can replace that thought with. Man, I'm tired of all these bills. What's a replacement for that thought if I'm going to release that mindset?
I'm grateful that I get to pay these bills.
Come on. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. What else? Somebody give me something else. Unmute or type it in the comments, one of the two. I prefer you to unmute though. That would be fantastic.
I'm grateful that I have the money to pay all these bills.
Yes, 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 yes. Give me something else. What else? Diana said, thank you for the bills and the money to pay. Yes, yes, yes. Give me one more.
It relates in my brain. Yesterday, something really came to my spirit. The art of practicing optimism greatly reduces stress and heightens gratitude. Of being optimistic.
Give me the example.
In other words, instead of saying, it's just another way of saying,
Sure.
I'm grateful that I can. I'm being
give me the words though. What words are you using when you're being optimistic about it?
I'm expressing gratitude that I can. I'm grateful.
So give it to me. Say it.
I am grateful that I can pay these bills, as opposed to complaining that I'm tired of paying the bills. So that's the reason.
Right.
No?
Yeah, that's what Vandalin was saying. But give me something else. Vandalyn was saying, I'm grateful I get to pay these bills, right? But if you're saying being more optimistic about it, what does it sound like? Give it to me in your words. What does it sound like?
Affordability.
What about it? Say it.
That I can afford to pay them.
I need a complete sentence, Judith. We're replacing the sentence with the other one.
I am grateful that I can afford to pay these bills.
Okay.
And I'm happy.
I'm happy. I just wanted something else, but I'm happy.
And another way, I am grateful for what the bills provided.
Can't hear you, babe.
I am grateful for what the bills provided.
Yes, that's good. I like it. I like it. I like it. Yes, yes, yes. That's another way to put it. Renee said, grateful that I was able to experience everything the bills provided, utilities, leisure, etc. Yep, yep, yep. Shanika, that's the first time I ever called you that in 5 years. Shanique said, I'm grateful that the universe is moving on my behalf. Yes, I love it. Diana said, thank you, God, that I paid the bills. Yes, yes, yes. Sasha said, I am grateful to be able to bless and support others with this money. Yes. And Diana said, thank you that the bills are paid. Yeah. So I love all of what y'all said. Everybody, you couldn't have gotten this wrong. But the whole idea is to be very specific and deliberate about how we reframe. So I love that Judith even said, like, being more optimistic about it. So that could look like, Judith, for me, for my personal bills, if I'm being more optimistic, that means my mindset is now like, when I go to the mailbox, it's time to pay these, right? Or when I get ready to check my bank account, if my stomach normally has butterflies because I'm afraid of what the balance is going to be, then I can go ahead and release that by turning on some music, putting on my favorite song. What's his name? Johnny Kemp. Friday night, just got paid. Yeah. Put that on, okay? Or whatever I got to put on, even if it's on a Tuesday, in order for me to feel good about opening up this email to check my bank account, to see what the balance is, whatever that is. So I love that optimism is a part of that as well. Beautiful. All right, so let me keep going. Y'all, I'm gonna go over about 10 minutes. So if you have to drop off, you don't need to make an announcement. Just catch the replay. Number 4, I want us to think about mindful awareness of opportunities. So when we think about mindful awareness of opportunities, remember, opportunities are a reflection of abundance, right? Shanique said, in this moment, what I'm reminding myself of right now is that this is not false optimism or faking it until you make it. That's very good, Shanique, but it's a shift in perspective. Very good, Shanique, very good. Heather said, Johnny Kemp and Bahamian homeboy. Oh, is he Bahamian? Okay, then. So that's a local celebrity, shit. I love that. Oh man, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Shanique, back to what you were saying. In this moment, I'm reminding myself that this is not false optimism or fake it until you make it, but a shift in perspective. That's very, very good. The reason why is because we released the whole fake it till you make it narrative. Although it has its place. Delusion, a little bit of delusion is a part of this experience, but it's not fake. That's why we don't fake it till we make it. So I love that you were able to bring yourself back to the reality that this is me shifting my perspective. Because ultimately, if you're not in a space where you want to give gratitude or you don't feel grateful, you're finding a hard time to see that you have everything you need, there's no reason to force it. I'm glad you brought this up. There's no reason to force it. The S word is coming back up again, surrender. If you're down, you're having a down day, a depressed day, and you cannot shake it, you done tried everything, the music, you took a nap, you woke back up, like you just cannot shake it. Surrender to it and see what that emotion is communicating. Because when those emotions come, as is every emotion, it's coming for what? To give what? Absolutely, information. It's coming to give information. I did read Vandalyn's lips that time. Is coming to give information. And so I've had days where it was like, okay, let's just surrender to this down day. And it didn't have to be a whole day. Maybe it is. But once I surrendered, then the next day or within a few hours, I was feeling better again. And I was able to move forward in that space. And so that's very good. All right. So When we think about mindful awareness of opportunities, you guys know that I believe that money is the smallest one of the smallest manifestations of abundance, but opportunities, you'll get opportunities to walk into spaces and be a part of things that money could not buy you in position of. Somebody knew somebody that knew somebody was like, this is the person for this particular thing, or I want to make sure this person gets gifted this particular concert ticket, or you were at the right place at the right time, and you just could not have paid for the synchronicity of it all. And so when you think about that, being present allows you to notice, right? The mindfulness of it all allows you to notice. So the importance of not rushing, because rush is a reflection of what? Type it in the comments. Are y'all trying to say something? Shanique hit it. That's it. That's it, Judith. That's it. Renee was trying to say something. The autocorrect got a hold of you. Jay, what happened? Yeah. So, right, rushing is at the root of it is lack. At the root of it, there is a fear for sure, but a fear of lack of time, right? And so lack is it, lack is it. And so when you think about rushing, when you think about being hasty, you know, and being anxious in that rush, you oftentimes miss all the synchronicities that are happening on your behalf, which are mindful opportunities that lead to more abundance. And so slowing down, being present where you are, fully present where you are, is super important. When I'm in these sessions with y'all, thank God I live by myself. But when I didn't, everybody had to go to their respective corners because I'm dialed in, tapped in, tuned in, turned on. I got horse blinders on. Nothing else matters in this space but what I'm doing. And it allows for me to get a stream of consciousness flowing through that otherwise I wouldn't get if I was looking over here, looking over there, or paying attention, or doing all these things. And so the same for when I'm traveling. Now, when I travel, I try my best not to be on my cell phone. I like shooting content and letting people know where I'm at, but it's so much work. I'd much rather just be present. I normally, if I have headphones in, I take them out so I can hear people around me, and I'm looking, hearing people talk. I heard some people arguing at the airport last week when I got back from Chicago, or this week when I got back from Chicago. And baby, they was going at it. This little couple, baby, they was older, and they was pissed off. Something had happened wherever they had been. And listen, it could have been the end. I was like, oh my goodness, this is interesting. And then my Uber came, but I was able to like be present in the moment. Then some girl walked up to me while I was on a train in Chicago, and she's like, hey, do you know if this train is going to the Uber station? I said, yep, it is. I'm going there too. Oh, this is my first time riding the train. This is my first time flying by myself. And I'm 22 years old and I'm a college student. And she just was going on and on and on. And normally like a silent travel experience. I just like to people watch. But I just like, I had to consciously tell myself like, hey, precious, stay here. Be present. And so I started looking at her face, and I was looking at her forehead and looking at her skin and looking at her teeth, and like just being very mindful, because now I'm like paying attention. And you know, when say you have a parent who doesn't pay attention and all of a sudden they try to start paying attention, all of a sudden you checking for me, you ain't been saying nothing, what's going on? And things start to like, you can't do as much as you used to, because when we pay attention, right, we're focused in. You can't miss what's happening when you're paying attention and you're focused in. So when people say stuff like, you can't miss what's for you, well, you can. You guys have heard me say that before. It might come back around, but you can miss it. And because we know we're in abundance, missing it doesn't mean it won't ever come back around again, because we're in abundance. And so when I think about that, I think about recognizing how important attention is. So number 5 is attention. Mindful awareness of opportunities, right? Birth an opportunity for you to pay mindful attention. Mindful attention. Number 4 was mindful awareness of opportunities. And number 5 is mindful attention. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .. . . .. . . .. .. .. ... .. .. And number 5 is mindful attention. So recognizing that it's important for me to, wherever I am and whatever I'm doing, if I'm washing the dishes, be conscious how I was looking in this young lady's face. I know she was like, dang, lady, you don't have to stare me down so hard. When you're washing the dishes, if you're rinsing dishes, pay attention to the dish that you're rinsing. You can go on autopilot, but try your best to pay attention to how the temperature feels on your hand from the water running. Graze the plate if you don't mind touching the food to see what that food feels like on the plate. Touch the plate back to front. Wash the glass, get the rim, like get the bottom, like take your time and actually look at what you're doing. Pay attention to what you're doing. Mindful attention is super important. And then the last one that we're going to cover for tonight, before we wrap this up, is the surrendering. We got some more coming for tomorrow that we're going to wrap up, but surrendering control. So abundance requires both action and surrender. If you know this already, type in the comments, I know. That abundance, right, requires both action and surrender. Action and surrender. And the reason why that's important, Shanique said, I know, yes. Because the whole point is, I got to be willing to surrender a lot of times the how in order to receive the abundance, right? Even though abundance gives the opportunity to take you toward experiences and reaching your goals and all that type of shit, right? Or experiencing all the things that you desire, there's still along the way multiple opportunities that require you to surrender the when, the where, the what, and the how. And they're all interchangeable. So you know for yourself, you want an abundance of finances, say $10,000, $10,000 by this amount of time to take care of this thing, right? 20,000, 100,000, the amounts don't matter. And don't allow larger amounts to cause you to be more fearful to ask. The bigger the amount, the better. The more audacious the ask, the better. Because the more audacious the ask, the more opportunity you have to expand your capacity and allow for God to move the universe on your behalf. But you must be willing to surrender control. There are several people, including myself, who have asked God, asked Source, asked the universe, whatever you call all being, all knowing, for things, for experiences, for a relationship, for this, for that. And then they come and you're like, oh, but not that. That don't even look right. I don't want that, guy. And God's like, oh, okay, next. And the next one comes, you'll be like, I mean, it's missing the red handle. It's everything I asked for, but what about the red handle? I don't like nothing that don't have no red handle. Next. And then there's this drought. And you're like, God, what have you forsaken now? And God is like, ain't nobody forsaken your ass. I seen it twice already. You said you didn't want it. But God, you said ask and you shall receive. Yes. You asked, I gave. But it didn't have a red handle on it because you don't need no red handle. You don't even know that the red handle gonna burn your hands. I sent you somebody else who gonna paint the handle gold and you gonna like that even better, but you don't even know I was looking out for you, right? So if I'm willing to surrender control, you know what else gets to happen? I get to surrender to the idea of God surprising and delighting me. That's the boom, that's the cat, that's the pow, because we're not here to just get what we want. We're here to enjoy the journey along the way. And if I'm willing to surrender control, I have more of an opportunity to be surprised and delighted along the way to this thing that I want that has a golden handle that's even better than a red handle. Does that make sense? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Vanilla said, that's where I need more practice, enjoying the journey. Yes. So the question is, how can you have more joy? Where can you find more ease? Where can you surrender more? Right? Where can you find more space to release? So I want everybody to answer that, and then we're going to wrap this call on up. We're going to wrap this session 2 on up. But that's the question. Where can you find more ease? Where can you find more joy for yourself? Think about your life. Don't give me anything generic. I want you to be deliberate and intentional about this. I know for myself, I find more ease and more joy in the ability to shift my perspective. It's always in my perspective for me, for Precious. Can y'all hear that? It's a child screaming. Oh, okay, I hear the mama. All right. This is a respectful community. Get your children together. There's supposed to be no kids allowed in the building if it was up to me, but my grandson is coming on too. I'll be nice. But that's the question, right? Where can I find more ease? Where can I find more joy? And for me, it's definitely in my day-to-day perspective. And so even with waking up in gratitude, it's also in my workload. I told a friend today, I don't know when to say when. I'll press to the max. And my life has been asking me to be, and less doing. But I am a doing machine. I know how to do all the things. And God is like, how am I going to prove to you that you deserve to receive beyond what you can do if you won't surrender to being? Ooh, yeah. How can I prove to you that you deserve beyond what you can produce if you want surrender, if you refuse to surrender to being? Recognize that you're valuable even in your being, if not more valuable, because you get to retain more energy in your being versus in your doing. So in your being, who can you be? What can you be? How can you practice in the being? Finding more ease, finding more joy. So unmute or type it in the comments. What do you have for me? And then we're going to wrap this thing on up. Judith says the ability of choice to choose is the perspective. For sure. So tell me specifically, though, what can you do in your specific day-to-day? Like, what can you do to find more ease and more joy?
I get to choose. In other words, I mean,
So let me ask it differently, Judith.
yeah.
What area of your life can you find more ease? I'm looking for deliberate and intentional. So is it in the area of work? Is it in the area of relationships? Is it on your drive home? Where do you find the most tension or the most displeasure? That would be the space where you can find and practice more ease.
When I'm walking out the door of my office
Mm-hmm.
to the train station. I think we
Mm.
spoke about that in our intimate conversation as well. So
Okay.
I have started practicing the whole essence of being present. And I get to choose when it comes. That anxiousness and how I feel, it's a very bad taste for me. And
Mm-hmm.
I've now have developed this tool where if I feel it coming, I will actually even meditate or just really sit outside and choose to be present and go, okay, here's your permission. Now you can
Mm-hmm.
walk to the train. You can
Mm-hmm.
choose what you're going to listen to, or you can look at the sunset. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
matter of choice, and I
Mm-hmm.
get to choose what's my tool or my armor
Mm-hmm.
to get me to where I need to be.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Perfect. I love it. That's beautiful. Absolutely. All right. Diana said, I find more ease and joy when I do not react immediately. Very good. When I pause and take decisive action based on my worth and value and move from a place of confidence. Very good. Vandalin said, I can create content and enjoy the process with no pressure to be or do, but just to have fun. Yes, come on. I love the specifics. Shanique said, I can find more ease and joy at work when I don't take every action so personal. Can you share the link? Unmute for me, Shanique. It's the same link. It's the same link you've been using these last 3 days.
But don't we have the Wednesday session after this?
I combined them. I sent an email out. So this is the combination of the two.
Got you.
I thought you meant for tomorrow. Yes. Did y'all not read my email today? Y'all ain't reading my emails? What's happening?
I didn't see it. I'll be honest.
Thank you for your honesty. Okay, but you were talking about the session after this one. No, we combined the two, so you don't have to stay on. So we don't have to stay on. Let me just be clear about that. Sasha said, in my morning routine, starting the day with meditation sets the tone for my day to flow. I love that. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Diana said, in order to take action from a place of confidence, I cannot allow myself the luxury of feeling like a victim or focus on the problem. Come on with it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. All right. Anybody else? Got anything else they want to add?
I have a question before you go.
Absolutely.
Um, can you give like a brief example of how you like when you say you're down in the dumps and no matter what
Mhm,
you do, you can't shake it. So you
mhm.
may just have to just, I think you said surrender.
Surrender.
Yeah. So how do you know you're surrendering? Because what is an example that you do when you're surrendering to that?
That's good. That's perfect, man. So on my down days, and I had some, man, maybe a week or so before I went to Chicago, and then the other day, um, when I'm not, I'll give you the example of when I'm not surrendering, and then when I am. When I'm not surrendering, I'm trying to push through, even though I feel terrible. I'm crying every step of the way, and sometimes it's necessary for me to push through and cry all the way to the bank, cry all the way to the coffee shop, cry all the way to this place. But when I'm deciding to surrender, I'm deciding to release everything that needs to be done today, right? So that means I got to send an email or I got to cancel a meeting or I got to say, hey, can we reschedule? Can we postpone? Whatever that looks like, I'm clearing my schedule by sending emails, sending text messages, making phone calls. That's one way that I'm surrendering. Also, I'm getting the food that I love to eat. That could be, I'll go ahead and order instead of cooking something. I might Uber Eats, which I don't do often. I used to do it all the time, but I don't do often now. But that just means that because I don't even feel like I can't even cook today. I can't even get to the air fryer to put the little salmon in. So I'm gonna order some food. It'll come. That's easier for me to wait for the food and pick it up at the door. That's me surrendering that I gotta be the one to cook my meal tonight. It also looks like me getting on the couch, cutting on a show that either I'm gonna let watch me or I'm actually gonna watch, but that lifts my spirits a bit. Um, Another way that I surrendered last week was I shared with a friend, hey, I'm having a down day. And he hit me back and he was like, hey, do you need me to call you? You need me to come over? And I was like, nope, just wanted to let somebody know where I was at. Because I'm making a practice of sharing with my intimate circle that, hey, this is how I'm feeling today. Don't need anybody to do anything about it. This is just me sharing and my vulnerability, being open and honest in that space. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is that helpful? I should ask you, is that helpful? Are you looking for something more?
That's helpful. I guess I was just trying to figure out how because you said you need to surrender in order to understand what this emotion is here to teach you, or what are you trying to, what is this information being shared? Can't remember your exact words,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. You're on it. Those are two different experiences. So if I'm having a down day, right, I can absolutely ask. I can journal when I'm feeling better. But if I don't feel like doing absolutely nothing, like I'm having a true down day, and this I'm speaking to the people that may journey with depression. If you journey with depression in any kind of way and you're having a day where you feel completely stuck, like I'm unmovable, unshakable, I can't get out of this space, then a part of that is you being able to show up in this space of honoring, let me surrender, right? Let me surrender. And for me, the surrendering looks like some of the things I've shared, but also I also journal maybe the next day. If I have the energy to do it that day, then I'm going to journal. What is this here what information is this here to provide me? And a lot of times for me, Van, it's I need more rest. I need more vitamins. I need like practical things. Like I didn't know that I needed vitamin D, that I was deficient. I needed, and this was just me doing research to see like, dang, why am I so down? This is crazy. I don't understand it. Um, Figuring out if I'm premenopausal or not, like getting more water, getting more iron, doing something like a B12, like doing the other practical things that help the body to perform better, help the mind to perform better and more optimal. So it's not just these things that stand alone, like meditation, like taking a nap, like turning on a good movie, but it's also what is my body asking me for to perform better? What are your thoughts?
I got it. It makes sense now. I guess I was just wanting to know what you do, because you know how sometimes you think you're surrendering, but you're really not. Yeah.
Give me an example of when you thought you were surrendering, but you weren't.
Well, because you said don't create, like if I was trying to push myself to, when I said I was gonna post 2 times a day on socials, and I ain't really had nothing to say, and but I forced myself to do it, because for the sake of consistency, but I ain't really feel like doing it. So I guess I wasn't surrendering at that moment.
And the surrender could also look like, even before the 2 posts a day, being realistic about if you will enjoy posting twice a day. Like the surrender is way before, because the problem is when we don't, when we start to take on things that we believe, I have to do this because this is what they say it works, and I got to do it like this, but I don't really have the heart for this, then the next thing that you're going to create is regret and disappointment. And there's this vicious cycle of doing shit you don't want to do, pretending that you're going to do it, really try your best to get it done. And then when the days that you're like, you know what, this is crazy, I don't feel like doing this shit, and I actually don't even have nothing to say for real. Now you feel disappointed because you didn't do the 2 days. And what if I would have did the 2 days? Would I already have met my goals? It's all this crazy thinking that doesn't allow space for you to actually hear and see what process will actually work for Vandalyn to reach her audience or her goal or whatever the thing is. So before you even get to the to-do, do you desire to do the to-do, and ask, I'm open to other ways to meet this same goal in this same way. This isn't it, but I'm open to receiving new ways to meet the same goal. Ask Source to come in and help with the creativity process that feels good for you. For me, doing a 40-day meditation worked. I was able to do it every single day. It wasn't like it wasn't hard, or it was mornings I didn't feel like getting up. It was several mornings I didn't feel like getting up. Several mornings my eyes was like, oh my God, not again, day 36. But ultimately, my brain works in marathons like that. It'll go for 40 days and then it'll want to rest for 40 days. And I understand it about myself now. So I don't beat myself up when I see people who can post every single day for 365, because one, they're using a tool, but also two, even organically or with a tool, it's just not my thing. I have to have a team that'll post shit that I've said before that'll help put that stuff up for me. That's not something I can do for myself. And if I say I'm going to do it, I know that I'm not, because I don't enjoy it. And I don't see a direct response to what I'm doing. So it's not feeding any part of me. But if I do it anyway, I'm going to feel disappointment. And I'm going to feel like I let myself down. So I would ask you to go back to what you're doing and why, and see what you can eliminate that doesn't actually align with how you want to show up. And ask, get into a creative session with Source, help me, show me how I can get this done outside of what this is. Because this isn't it. It worked for this person, but this doesn't work for me. Is that yeah, you're welcome. Is that realistic?
Yes, that's very realistic. Thank you.
You're welcome. Follow up with me in at least 2 weeks, Van, and let me know how it goes.
Okay.
In our email session.
Will do.
All right. Any other questions from anybody else?
I don't have a question. I just have a comment. Tonight, that's all I gotta say. Thank you. I am right here, right now, where I'm supposed to be. And this is just divine.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Coming tonight actually just felt like, even though I missed yesterday, I felt like I was preparing for this all week from the weekend. I really felt like I was being groomed to now. It's, yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you for that feedback. That's awesome. Yes, did everybody get what they needed tonight?
100%.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love that, Heather. Yes. All right. Anybody else need anything else? Any questions that need to be answered before we close out? Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let me know. You're welcome, Renee. All right, y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you're OSS, of course, this replay will be up for y'all first, so that you can see it. If you didn't get my email, check my emails, please. I sent an email that we combined both of the sessions tonight. The session 2 of the 3-day mindfulness journey and our sacred space. And so we're OSS heavy in here tonight, which feels pretty good. And if you need anything else, if you feel like, man, it was something that I wanted to unpack with Coach P tonight, use your email session. Email me tonight if anything comes up or anything else that came up tonight that you want to unpack further. Otherwise, I'll see you guys. You're welcome, Sasha and Wanda. Thank y'all for joining us. Be back tomorrow and bring your friends. All right. Have an amazing night, y'all. Love y'all. Peace.